Hello, peeps. Everyone out there in World Wide Web land, YouTube, wherever this goes. If I share it with my friends on Discord, Facebook, whatever. Don't know who's going to watch this, if anyone, but I've been told on multiple occasions that I should, start uploading videos to my channel. That, I've got some interesting stuff to talk about and some good stories to tell, so I figure, hey, why not? What can it hurt? I mean, hey, I'm not expecting to be the next great blind YouTube sensation or YouTube sensation in general, but hey, I mean, if people can get something out of what I upload, then why the heck not? Just a bit of a basic introduction to myself. Initially, I'm totally blind. Been that way for my entire life. All 31 years, going to be 32 in 9 days, actually. Damn, I'm getting old. I live in the Bay Area, in Oakland to be exact. I've always wanted to live in the Bay Area ever since honestly for a long time, ever since my dad and I moved to Oakland when I was 7. I've come and gone. Some of the situations were out of my control. Some of it was all my damn fault. But yeah, I'm here now, and if I can help it, I'd like to stay here for the long term. If you hear kind of a humming in the background, my apologies. I'm using a computer that has a completely screwed up fan. The fan does not work at all. So I have it sitting on one of those cooling pad things so that it doesn't melt like a grilled cheese sandwich. I have another computer, but I haven't installed Virtual Recorder, which is what I'm using to record this. It's not going to be professional sounding quality by any stretch of the imagination, but it's, hey, I mean, it's what I got. It's what I got to work with. So, I like anime. I like Western cartoons. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. I do like Superman. Batman's okay. Daredevil's pretty cool, I think, for obvious reasons. Blind superhero. Who could argue with that? Anime, I like the Dragon Ball franchise. I like Yu Yu Hakusho. The original Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Digimon. Digimon was actually the first anime that I ever watched before I even knew what anime was, and because of dubbing practices back in the 90s and early 2000s, they like to kind of localize the dialogue, change the character names, etc. So I actually, not being able to see for a long time, I refused to believe that these shows were from Japan because, that, and they liked to change the music and sometimes change the sound effects, but they would change the music to be more in line with Western cartoons. For anyone watching this who doesn't know, because anime was kind of uncharted territory back then. They didn't know if Western kids would like it, so they changed some dialogue around, changed the names of food items, characters, gave it a different score and had music playing all the time. A lot of people hate that nowadays, but honestly, hey, it's what they had to do. People didn't know that anime would catch on like it did. I mean, anime kind of exploded in popularity since then. And now, because people are far more receptive to it, those standards and practices are pretty much just relics of a bygone era. Nowadays, you get Japanese scores, you get dialogue that's more closely rendered and more faithful to the source material, as close as it can be, because Japanese and English don't fully translate well. And I'm sorry for going off on that tangent. I do that sometimes. But yeah, I like some audio games. I'm not a huge gamer, and I like the simple stuff. I don't like games that have a bunch of stuff you got to do, or just a few friends of mine I've known or know now play this game called Survive the Wild, and you have to go through 5, 10, 20, 30 zillion steps just to do the simplest thing. No, thank you. I will pass. Thank you very much. Yeah, no. That's just not. It's not something that I'm interested in. I play some games. I have a program that emulates the first two Bop It games, Bop It and Bop It Extreme. I play games on this platform called RS Games. It's kind of limited, but it's got some card games and dice games and board games, and it's in a format that is primarily designed for the blind. They have a web client too, so sighted people can play. But if you're visually impaired, any blind people I know who watch this, I may not have to tell you, but for any sighted people who may watch this in the future, for the blind, the web client is a biatch. It sucks ass. Yes, people, I do swear. I don't, talk like a drunken sailor, but yes, I do use profanity. Not as much as some people I've known, but yes, I do. I don't mean to offend anyone, but that's just the way I talk. You will hear swear words interspersed in my in my videos. I made videos with another person, and if anyone has watched those videos, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to link. I don't know how to link people's channels in the description. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I'm using an app called Virtual Recorder on a Windows 10 computer. I don't have really top-of-the-line, cutting-edge software that would allow me to do certain things, edit comments or give a link to people's channels and stuff like that, like people on YouTube usually like to do. So again, I do apologize if the quality of this is not the greatest, but it should be. You should be able to understand me okay. But yeah, I've lived in Redding, California. I've lived in Modesto. I've lived in Oakland here in the Bay Area. I've lived in Fresno. Oof, I've got some stories to tell about that. Different subjects for different videos. I don't mind like the Modesto area. I went to high school there, graduated from high school in that area, met some good people. Sadly lost contact with a lot of them except for about 3 people. But I don't know. I personally just think that the Redding area where I was born and the Central Valley of California are just harsh, unforgiving, sometimes hostile, and depressing places to live. Nothing against the people there. There's some really nice people there, and I've been told that the scenery is beautiful if you can see it and appreciate it. I can't, and I have no desire to be given eyesight, much to the complete confusion and whatever of my dad. He cannot possibly fathom how I could willingly choose to remain blind all my life. He's like I'd want to try it for at least a day, wouldn't you? I told him once, I was like, Dad, no, I wouldn't want to try eyesight for a single second. I'm happy with who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. Yes, blindness really complicates life. Yes, it makes things an abso-freaking-lute nightmare sometimes. But for better or for worse, it's the hand I was dealt. It's how I am. So I don't see any reason, any need to change that. A lot of people don't understand that, sighted people, I'm saying, and some do. But a lot of them that I've met over the course of my life don't really get that. And again, I will tell you this now. I don't plan this, so I will kind of go off into multiple different directions. I'm not really used to doing stuff like this, so I go where my thoughts take me, and my mind often wanders even when I'm not talking. So when it is, I might change tack, change thread of what I'm talking about. I'll try not to, but sometimes that is what happens in my case. But yeah, I've also lived, going back to places I've lived, I lived in Bucharest, Romania for 3 months, which was an interesting experience. I could have stayed here and finished my senior year of high school, but I thought, hey, you know what? I have plenty of time, because people, I don't know if this is the case for everyone with disabilities, but for a lot of us, you can actually be in school until the age of 22. Now, I knew that there was no way in hell I'd be in school that long. But I thought, hey, okay, yeah, I wanted to graduate on time with my classmates, but this is a good opportunity, and, I might not get another one. And besides, I figured, because at the time I was 18, so I was thinking, how many blind 18-year-olds get the chance to take a trip like that, to take a transcontinental trip across the globe? I don't imagine very many. I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say they were few and far between. So yeah, that was interesting. Although at the time there really wasn't much in the way of services or accommodations for the blind. Here we have the bumps on the sidewalk before buildings, or you have like the bumps at a curb. You've got some street lights have the beeping signals, things like that, wheelchair ramps and stuff like that. But over there, at least back in 2008, there really wasn't much in the way of accessibility. The friends that we knew, none of them, I showed them my cane, none of them knew what it was. And, like, it was so foreign to them. The times that my dad and I went and hung out with friends of ours, some of the guys did not want to let me take their arm because they were too nervous and they didn't want the responsibility. Now, there were some of the guys that we hung out with that were okay. None of the females, because sometimes our friends would bring along friends of their own, none of the females that I met there had any problem letting me hold their elbow and tell them how to guide me around. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, none of them had a problem with it, so, I don't know, I guess it's just so new to them over there. Shoot. But yeah, that's kind of where I've lived. And of course, as I make more videos sporadically, I'll go into more detail and into more depth about places that I've been, and living situations that I've been in, the good, the bad, the ugly, the really freaking screwed up. But yeah, that's just an initial intro, and like I said, there's a lot more I can say, a lot of stories I have throughout my life. Good, bad, really good, really bad, really screwed up. And, well, yeah, that's about everything. Alright, I will upload this when I can, and well, see you guys later. Bye.